right. Well, we got the president of the Manitoba Métis Federation on the line, David Chartrand. Dave.
How are you doing, Ray?
Well, I'm doing good. How about you?
Well, I'm in Great Falls right now. I have to leave the hall because cell service is not strong there. It doesn't work at all. And I'm standing in the highway here on top of a little hill here, trying to get the best connection I can.
Don't stand in the middle, okay?
Don't cross the road. Anyways, the reason, of course, I'm in Great Falls is a regional meeting happening right now. And, of course, for the Southeast region, a packed house, Ray, and everybody has to be double vaccinated to attend this meeting.
Mm-hmm.
There's a policy of the Federation, so I'm very proud of even I had to show my card walking in there.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not, she said, if you're not double vaccinated, you can come in, President Chartrand.
Yeah.
So I am double vaccinated, and I want to again express my gratitude to Denise in ensuring that safety of our seniors, our elders, and our community is always priority. Now, let's get to some work in case I lose you guys. Let's start off with some birthdays first. We got birthdays going out to Chartrand. That's Kevin Janani's wife. We'll celebrate her birthday on Thursday, September 9th. Happy birthday, Char. Not Charlene, but I guess they nickname her Char. Happy birthday, Minister Andrew Carrier, who is celebrating his birthday on Monday, September 13th. And as we all know, Andrew Carrier is actually running for the Liberals right now in the riding of Port Lisgar. And he's working in the storm out there, visiting communities everywhere, and is getting some very positive reception in all his door knocking. He actually even went to the southern part of our province where there's a bunch of anti-vaxxers, and some of them were not as polite, but he's not giving up and knocking and selling his platform why he should be a potential MP elected in that riding. So happy birthday, Andrew Carrier. Happy birthday is going on to Leanne Denoyer at Senior Management Finance at the MMF, who's celebrating her birthday on September 17th. Also want to say happy birthday to my daughter's mom, Lisa Thomas, who passed away some time ago. It's her birthday today, and my daughter, I'm sure, is thinking about her mom. So happy birthday, Lisa, up there in your new home. I also want to make sure I send some greetings out. A little Dorian first. Dorian's a big-time listener, and Shauna's young son. Shauna works at the Federation, and he has such a high hopes to meet me when he comes to the office and come say hi. And he says he listens to us, Ray, every Saturday. And good. So, Dorian, Ray and I want to say hi to you and Cowboy Carl.
Yep.
And make sure you keep on listening to our show. It's a #1 show in Manitoba.
Yep.
I also want to say hi, thank you, Eugene Martel, out in Liberty Local, who actually put up one of our big signs in his yard. If you're traveling across his province, you're going to be seeing major signs from the MMF with my big face on there and my big picture telling people go out and vote. Don't forget to vote. And it's very important. I'll be speaking shortly at the regional meeting here, expressing why it's important to vote. And actually, if you go into our website, you'll see the responses we got from the 4 parties. And you're going to be, I don't think you'll be shocked to see, however, it's sad to see. You see all the responses. You'll see, of course, the Liberal having the strongest response. And this, people can say, oh, you're supporting the Liberals. Well, I'm supporting the 15 priorities our people asked me to send to the government, and I did. To the parties. And the Liberals came with the strongest, NDP the second, the Green Party the third, and there's not one response at all coming from the Conservatives to any of the 15 priorities. Not one commitment. So that should scare the hell out of our Métis citizens out there.
Oh, yeah.
To see that you have a party that does not prioritize you. They have positions on anti-vaxxers because they see there's a lot of them out there in the southern parts of our province here in Manitoba. And they're willing to listen to them and try to adjust their platform to meet them. But the Métis are completely left out on the conservative. They did say they're going to respond. And if they don't respond to the 15 priorities, because in their platform we're mentioned twice with no commitment. So if they do respond, I'll give O'Toole that. If he does respond, we'll put it into our website. So, but it's important that our voters know about these things and all our listeners. When you have these platforms that these parties give out, if you're not mentioned in there, that means they don't have to commit to you. But if they actually write it in there, it's very hard for them to squeeze themselves out of it after, because now they made a public statement and a public commitment. In some ways, it can even not as legal as it should be, but it's really a political commitment made by a party, and it's hard to get out once you actually have it in writing. So that's why we push these guys so hard, and the leaders, to try to make sure that our issues that are important to our Métis citizens are addressed. And let's not forget, this is not charity. These parties should know the Métis pay billions in taxes in Canada, and hundreds of millions, probably close to $1 billion in Manitoba. And when you look at it from that context, it should be automatic that we're in the platform of any party, that there's got to be a plan for the Métis. So, again, that just shows you, Ray, there's so much at stake at this election, and you'll see commercials coming out. MMF has done it. I hope that people will be pleased that I have 30 seconds to send a message and to try to get our people up and ready to go out and vote. And we also have the other end trying to really activated to go out and vote. And we have youth commercials coming from the Northwest. I was very proud of the young people as they express why it's important for the youth to vote. And we also have elders who are coming out in a video, and you'll see it on our website. You'll see that the Northwest regional website are telling all their family, their friends, their peers, their age, to go out and vote, and why. Because it is important. If we don't cast our vote, then we don't matter. And we can't say we complain after the fact, because it's not. In fact, we had our cabinet meeting just yesterday, Ray, and I echo to everybody, we can go and vote. There's different ways to vote right now. If you look at offices anywhere in Manitoba, you can walk in. You don't have to be from that riding. You can vote from anywhere in Canada. You walk to Elections Canada office, for example, if you're from Skowner, let's say that, and you're in Dauphin, you can walk to Elections Canada and vote. You can Winnipeg, and you can go and vote.
Wow.
So there's no excuse really for many ways, and it's quick. In attendance at the meeting, and our management, probably close to 70 of us, or 60, 70 of us, that showed up at one time Elections Canada. Eyes were lifted pretty quick, Ray, when they say, holy man, look at all these half-breeds, all these Métis coming here. So it was good to see ourselves, of course, the Métis Nation being proud and going out to express our democracy and stand for our people and showing our people it's as easy as this to get out and vote, because what's important now is to recognize they will watch your vote. They will go back to your communities. They'll go check, because it shows, let's use Duck Bay where I come from. They will know how many people voted in Duck Bay. So if Duck Bay doesn't vote, and they say, we don't care what their issues are. We don't care if they have problems. We don't care if they have economic dreams, or they have child family issues, or they have housing issues. We don't care. They don't vote. That's exactly how governments and policies and parties work. So that's why it's so important that we get out there, listen to their issues, but make sure we vote, because they'll check to make sure that our people voted. So not only are getting a PS5 rate, if you're an influencer and you get, say, for example, Lorna is listening to us right now, Chartrand. She always listens to herself. Say Lorna says, I'm going to get 10 of my friends to go out and vote, or 5 of them to go out and vote. She takes the pictures outside the poll, and she's entitled to win. There's the 5 50-inch TV screens. You can win one of those. So, and at the end of the day, every Métis citizen that votes is going to have a chance to win a new car. So, all you have to do is not vote. I go to the polls. I got to be careful with this, because they say I can't say you have to vote, but I can take you to the polls. So I can take you to the polls, which I will, and help you get there. And it's up to you to walk in there and do your duty as a Métis Nation citizen, as a Canadian, to make sure you cast your vote. And if you want to know who to vote for or why, look at the priorities that we put in our website. This is the actual responses of the parties themselves. This is not our words. This is their own words. And you can look and decide which one you want to vote for. So, again, there's an incentive program. We're trying to get more and more of our people out. And people say, well, you're bribing or you're buying votes. I'm not buying one damn vote. What I'm doing is incentivizing my people that here's a way to get you, if you don't do it just for the cause or yourself, your family, or your nation, maybe you'll do it to get an opportunity to win a PS5. But you'll go out to cast your democracy of rights that you have in this country. And why it's important, Ray, too, is that you look at the rich in this country, right? They're the most influencers of all parties.
Right.
Let's look at the gun lobby groups. They have the ear of the conservatives, because why? They put a lot of money in their election campaigns. That's why. We don't have deep pockets like them. We're not rich people. So we can't use money to influence them. We got to use votes to try to convince them that we're important too. So, and our issues are as important as theirs. So that's the downside of Indigenous people and the poor and the working poor, is that governments, a lot of times, their parties don't listen as strongly as they should, because they say, and studies have shown, Indigenous people don't vote as non-Indigenous, and the poor don't vote as the middle class or the rich. So it's very important to recognize that. And so I want to echo that loud and clear. I said in my speech and my messages, I've given my life to the Métis cause in the Métis Nation. And all I'm asking my people now is help me fight your fight.
Right.
Help me go out there, cast your vote, and decide yourself who you want to vote for. But I'm telling you, look at the platforms. You'll see the best responses there. From there, you can choose who you think's the best. Right now, I'm listening to our reports coming at the Southeast. A lot of people are applauding the education minister's report that we're able to give $5,000 to our students now. At every that takes down their $5,000 bill at the end of the year. After 4 years, that's $20,000 rate.
Yeah.
So you start, that debt comes back to haunt them after they graduate. You can end up owing $60,000, $70,000, and they got to pay that before they even buy a house.
Wow.
So our view is to bring down that debt as much as we can. Mm-hmm. So we talked about and I'll be talking again. Jack was talking about the investments to businesses that we've been able to support the ranchers, the farmers, the fishers. We've been able to give out millions of dollars out there to help these people and these businesses that are hurting. So, but imagine for a second if the government starts to cut our programs. How then can I go out and give you the support I need to give you to keep your business alive? Because if you're not seen as a priority by any party and they don't want to continue to commit to you, then how do I get the funds to make sure that your business succeeds during the toughest of times, like what we've seen COVID do to many businesses? So that's why it's so important, and to our young generation listening, to our grandparents, to our parents, tell your kids to go out and vote for yourself, because we've got to make sure that we have now child welfare legislation in Canada. And that's an important factor that's going to change the very future of child welfare. We're going to negotiate health legislation, and our people have told us health is a big priority. And we need to make sure that we can get a government that's going to damn well make sure that they're going to include the Métis when it comes to health expenses and health programs, i.e. drugs, prescriptions, and all the rest of it, assistance to go to your doctor, assistance to go to hospitals or to special operations.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to make sure that this country gives us really back our tax dollars and our rights that's protected in the Constitution. So in order to do that, you've got to vote. And we need you out there, and we need to send a message loud and clear. We matter. So I also want to thank the President Chartrand. He attended our meeting on behalf of the Métis National Council. It's his last public meeting before the Assembly is supposed to be happening September 29th. That's happening in Saskatoon, but as you know, the Federation has been given guidance by our Assembly. Our Assembly has now directed myself and my cabinet and our government that we will no longer be part of the MNC if Ontario is part of the MNC. And right now, they got the support of the President of Alberta, the President of Saskatchewan. They also got the Vice President support because they fired their President in D.C., who was against Ontario. And they got the support of the Vice President of British Columbia. So when you look at it right now, they're actually starting to say that the definition we have is too tight, that we should open it up and let more people in. Like, this is unbelievable. Identity theft is going to be happening so bad to our people, and our people are wise enough. In 2018, 19, the Assembly already told me that if Ontario is in, MMF is out. There is no way we'll water down our nation or let anybody steal our identity. So that's something that our people are very strong about, and I about my travels, about calls, about regional meetings I'm able to attend, that there is not a doubt in their minds or not identity theft for hundreds of thousands of people to come along and steal our identity. And that should go after the money we've worked so hard to get. We waited so long to get here, hundreds of years to get where we are. We fought hard to get here, to senior homes, and we're building an apartment block in Selkirk for 55 plus. We're building affordable housing, all these, and showed me a number which you'll report shortly as a minister here. There's 989 or 990 applications to repair houses right now, Ray. So you start looking at that, it is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And the people are so beautiful. We have such beautiful people, Ray. They're so happy when our staff show up there. They're so happy that they're qualifying. They don't have to go through federal bureaucrats to decide the fate of their opportunity to get their house repaired. They can just go to the Métis government, and the Métis government can handle it there. So those
you're breaking up a little bit, Dave.
They're so happy to get their family support, to fix their home. Mm-hmm. And they don't even ask for much more. They're just, I don't know, that warms my heart to see such are so kind, and at the same time so appreciative of a little bit of support that they can get. So we have an election coming up, September 20th. You can vote right now, advance polls September 10th to the 14th, or if you're going to town from your community, you're St. Dauphin, Swan River, Nicola, wherever you are, Brandon, go to Election Canada office and you can vote right there. Just know who your candidate is before you walk in, because they don't have just tell them where you're from. They're supposed to tell them the address. Tell you got to know the candidate.
Right.
Advance poll, take your card with you, and then you'll have a choice of names there. And again, on September 28th, Election Day. So again, there's a lot of questions, and we need to make sure we get out there, send our message loud and clear, look at the platforms, and make it very clear that Métis matter. I also spoke to the new acting premier, the Premier Calvin Gertson. We had a very good discussion, and I expressed to him my clear disappointment of what has taken place under the Palliser regime, putting so many of our people in danger and potentially close to death, or maybe some even have perished because of that, of COVID. Denying us to have COVID was an unbelievable, I would say, bigotry action from a premier to choose a particular people, really racially divide us and say we're not allowed to have vaccines like First Nations. So that was a thing to watch. Our people sat there and watched everybody else get vaccinated. So we've been doing a lot of catch-up, Ray. We're still getting vaccines out to our people. And so I echoed that loud and clear to them. Also the Manitoba Hydro deal that the premier cut personally because he didn't want to take blame for the board resigning. Let's not forget that. $100 million. Right. He did not want to take the blame because the Hydro board resigned because he wouldn't meet with them. So instead of taking responsibility that he failed, he took the MMF agreement and said, here's why they resigned, because they're going to pay MMF this money. And I said, no, that is absolutely a lie. It was a lie to the public, a lie to his party. And I made sure that Calvin Gertson heard me loud and clear on that issue, that we are going to go to court. We're not going to stop suing the government until they do right. And so that discussion went very well. And I also reminded Calvin Gertson, he's the 23rd premier. He said, you're the 24th premier, I said to him. You guys keep on forgetting to mention that Riel is the first premier. You're the 24th premier, not the 23rd. Right, so we had a very good discussion. I talked about also the Lake St. Martin diversion. Again, I said to him, the premier keeps on telling people the fear-mongering and the MMF's against this thing. I said that's absolutely not true. MMF wants to make sure that we put in the proper system and the proper diversion, the ladders, making sure we watch the fish species as they cross one lake to another, so they don't damage another fish species. At the same time, you look at the zebra mussels. I read there's some in Lake Manitoba. How do we make sure contamination of one lake over the other and killing that industry? So not just the fishing industry, but just in general, houses and that could be living right by the shorelines and be effective to what's happening to their lake shorefront. So all these things are such important issues, Ray. And so I told that to Kevin and Calvin, and he said that for sure he'd like to talk further on this. Government is coming with a new page and in the direction. I also had a chat with Minister Lajmudir, and I echoed to him my statements loud and clear. Ray, that he failed us. He failed us as a Métis leader. He failed us. I said, you didn't forget when you first got elected, when you stood in front of all those people in Selkirk, and when we talked about it, and I praised you as a Métis getting elected to the government and sitting at the Legislative Assembly, and then you sat there and you watched this premier attack us. You watched the Premier Palliser go after us, hurt us on COVID, wouldn't recognize us on 150, wouldn't even recognize Lou Riel as the founder of Manitoba. And you look at all these things that he's done to us, Hydro, canceling a TSN agreement, our health agreement, and you stood by and said nothing, I said. Tell me, how do you expect us to respect you if you would do that to your own people? Right. So he was quiet, and he thanked me for my honesty, and he said, I want to make a difference. I want to change things now. So we'll see where that takes us, and we'll test him out, Ray, and see if he's just spewing out lines, political lines, or he's going to be real. So anyways, Ray, I'll say, I got also announced this, Ray, which I thank God I'm looking at my notes here. We're canceling we're postponing the annual General Assembly October 22nd, 24th. The Cabinet made a decision because we could have maybe 500 or 600 people at Assembly Downs at this, and we may have to spread them out all over, and they wouldn't be even part of it. So there's no way we already promised the people, because we know there's 2,000 to 3,000 people that come to our assembly, that we are going to have a face-to-face assembly. So we're going to postpone it to March. And by that time, we think that the Delta variant, the COVID, will be more controlled and that more people will be vaccinated by that time. We also passed a policy at the Federation that anybody is not vaccinated, double vaccinated, and working at the Federation, and decides they want to be anti-vaxxers, they will no longer be working for the Federation. Because we have to protect our staff, our employees. We've got to protect our citizens that come to our services. We've got to protect our elders, and in general, protect families. So we're not going to allow anybody that says I don't care, I don't support vaccines, I'm against them. Then go find those companies that will hire you, because we are not going to risk our people or the safety of others. So that's a policy that was passed by our cabinet just yesterday at our meeting. So, Ray, I'll say goodbye now, and I'm talking as fast as I can in case I lose you. But to the Great Falls, I'll be heading there to speak at 1 o'clock, and to our citizens across this province, our friends of the Métis Nation, First Nations that listen to our show all the time. And I heard that prediction by, what was that caller last Saturday? He said, you know who's going to win the election? Justin Trudeau, he said. How do I know? Because I read the news. I watch the news. I forgot his name. He won a prize, remember? He won that prize.
I forget it.
What's his name?
I forget his name now.
Yeah, because remember, he chose the right name. The senior housing is being built in Binscart. And that was a hard one, because that's only in the news and the MMF. It passed through it to the website.
That's right.
But he said, I read the news. I watch the news. I was very proud of him. And all our listeners that listen to Métis Hour, we'll try to give you as much information as we can.
That's right.
Try to update you at all the things that's going in place. That's why this report is so important to so many citizens. They want to know what's going on in their government. They know what programs are available, what services are available. And it's our job to try to educate them and advise them of all the opportunity. But so, in closing, I want to say to everybody, October advance polls are on right now. If you have a chance, go out and get it done now. Vote. Get it out of your way. And to our young people out there, we need you more than ever. We want to protect the programs we got. We want to ensure that programs are still in place. The education funds for university, the youth programs. We're buying youth camps right now across the province. We're building daycare centers. We plan to hire probably 250 to 300 staff, building 13 daycare centers. So in order for us to do that, we've got to make sure this government returns our tax dollars to us. But in order to do that, we've got to make sure the right government is in place. So read the platforms, but go out and vote. Protect yourself. Help me protect you. Help me protect the families in our communities. And I'll do my part. I'll fight like hell, as I usually do. But let's make sure that we go out and cast our votes so they know we matter. So take care, everybody, and I'll see you guys next Saturday.
All right. Thanks very much, Dave. Be careful.
I had Gloria, and she's at home. She couldn't come. She's working again today.
Oh, busy girl.
She is a busy girl. Okay, talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
All right, Dave. Thanks.